So Steve, thank you so much for being here. It's great to have you, especially at a time when both your funds, the Growth Fund and the Partners Fund, are doing pretty well. And let's talk about LeoNovus, which is actually in both of your funds. Why do you think that this company in the blockchain space is an emerging leader that you've picked out?
Thanks, Rachel. Thanks for having me back. One of the key reasons we like LeoNovus is that it has proprietary technology. We have invested in it for a couple years now, and they spent a lot of time and money, over 20 million, developing their technology, and now they're at the stage where they're commercializing it. They just signed a contract with a bank last week, and that's their second major contract. So we're excited about that opportunity.
Great. Now this you might not know of, but do you expect any news flow from LeoNovus that should be pretty exciting for potential investors?
Well, we know that they have a pipeline of other major companies, and we expect before the end of the year that they'll be able to finalize several more.
Well, let's talk about your funds specifically. How has their performances been?
Performance this year has been quite good. The Partners Fund, which is our hedge fund, is up 38% year to date, and the Growth Fund, our mutual fund, is up 34%.
Okay. And who are largely your investors looking at these funds?
Partners Fund is for accredited investors. The mutual fund is for any retail investor.
Okay, great. Now let's talk, going back to blockchain. Do you think that, amidst all the noise for or against blockchain technology and investing in it, do you think that Canadian investors should be looking at it as an opportunity?
Yeah, blockchain is the hottest area in the junior market right now. It's going to change the way a lot of things are done. There's a lot of good opportunities that will emerge in blockchain. Yeah.
So when you say that blockchain, like for example, LeoNovus has something that's not seen in other junior companies in the blockchain technology space, do you see any other emerging leaders at this time?
Well, that's the key one for us. There's a lot of other companies that are invested more in the cryptocurrency side. My view is that's more of a bubble right now. Like they've gone, and the prices have gone exponential.
Definitely.
And so those offer. It's high risk.
Right. Well, let's move on to talking about another space, marijuana. It's a space that's been getting so much attention, and now that Constellation Brands took a stake in Canopy Growth, even more attention into the space. Is there any outlook from you on the sector?
Well, I haven't been a big fan of the sector. We've played it a little bit. We've had some investments that are kind of related to the cannabis space. But there again, it goes back to the whole thing about, is it proprietary? Growing marijuana, there's nothing proprietary about that.
So why the focus so much on proprietary? This might be obvious, but can you explain to us why that's so important for you?
It's good to invest in a company that has a competitive advantage of some kind. I always use the example of like growing tomatoes. It's no different than growing tomatoes, growing marijuana. The companies will argue otherwise, but at the end of the day, like anybody really can do it. And I believe the margins over time are going to get squeezed. I think there's some risk that the government pushes back the legalization. I think there's risk of overcapacity. The problem I've always had too with the marijuana companies is they claim that it cures almost everything. And for the majority of these ailments, there's no scientific basis for any of it. So I think a lot of them are making fraudulent claims.
Well, let's talk about some other stocks maybe that you like at this time, and maybe explain to us why.
Well, one company in the cannabis space that we do like is Tinley Beverages. And what they do is they make a drink that has CBD and THC in it. And they've partnered with Cott Corp to develop something that actually tastes good, and it's on the shelves now in California. And the THC drink is launching this month.
Oh, wow.
And interestingly, one of the points in the recent announcement by Constellation Brands and Canopy Growth, they talked about wanting to get into the beverage market. So
interesting. All right. Well, Steve, thank you for being here with us.
Thanks, Rachel.